Hello everyone. Today I'll be talking about the Kundalini Awakening, where I'll be sharing a little bit about my experience with when I went through the Kundalini Awakening activation, what it felt like, what happened in my reality experience, and what it feels like today. The Kundalini energy is a dormant energy that rests as a coil at the base of the spine. And when this powerful sacred energy is released, it makes its way up the base of the spine through the chakra energy centers, activating each chakra energy center all the way up through the crown of the head. This powerful, extremely powerful life force energy, in essence, is the connection to source, is the connection to God, to all things, the Holy Spirit. When I received my Kundalini Awakening activation, my life was turned upside down. In essence, the Kundalini Awakening is an accelerated and amplified awakening. Everything happens at a very rapid pace. And it seems like at the time your world is crumbling, it is falling apart. It is a rapid shift, acceleration, ascension in consciousness, where you go through a massive shift in your reality experience. The Kundalini energy can be activated in a number of ways. In my experience, what happened with me in my reality experience is I went through a few activations before the Kundalini was activated. I went through activations due to the dark night of the soul. So the dark night of the soul is one of the ways in which the Kundalini energy is activated. This is when someone goes through extreme trauma, extreme adversity in their reality experience, extreme depression. When one goes through pure and utter darkness, it is in essence when an individual walks through hell on earth. And this is the blessing in disguise. It is the darkness, which is one of the ways in which the sacred, powerful energy is activated. When one loses grip on reality, it goes as far as to one doesn't want to live anymore within that experience. But it is the triumph of the human spirit through the dark night of the soul, where the gift of the Kundalini energy is given. Another way in which the Kundalini energy is activated is through breathing exercises, through yoga, through meditation. By setting a conscious intention, the Kundalini energy can be activated. With the use of sexual energy, sacred sexual energy is extremely powerful, and this can be utilized to go through activations on a DNA level, activating the chakra energy centers and also activating the Kundalini energy by using the collection of sexual energy and the breath, and by focusing it with conscious intention as breath as the vehicle. There's a chemical reaction that takes place, and it is focused up the base of the spine, like I'd explained earlier how the Kundalini energy moves, and it makes its way up through the chakra energy centers, activating, amplifying these energy centers all the way up through the crown. This is another way. Another way in which the Kundalini energy is activated is when you come into contact with your twin flame. When you meet your twin flame in the physical, in this reality experience, it doesn't have to result in any physical contact in order for this sacred energy to be activated. It can happen by just having the presence of the other individual, by the soul recognition, by making eye contact by the other individual being in your presence. With the soul recognition, with an energy exchange that takes place, because in order for the Kundalini energy to be activated, okay, there can be energy exchange between two individuals without any physical contact. This is another way. Your twin flame, divine sacred unions, divine counterparts will activate each other. That's why in the twin flame journey, there's the runner stage, okay? And I don't get too caught up in the different stages of the twin flame dynamic, as I believe every individual experience is unique to the individual, to the counterparts. Although a very common stage in the journey is the runner-chaser stage, where the one individual is chasing because they are aware of their connection, and the other individual who has still not been able to master shifting out of fear and who still needs to do the work on their own and have their own experience, runs from the relationship, because the connection between the two individuals is extremely powerful. And there is a fear that comes with this, because it is like nothing on earth when this happens within the reality experience. That's another way in which this sacred Kundalini energy is activated. So in my reality experience, I'll share a little bit about the activations I went through. I went through an extreme accumulation of dark nights of the soul. Right before, pretty much, I decided to love myself, when I started tapping in through the heart activations, etc., when my psychic abilities already amplified, as I was born like this, okay, as an empath, as many of you individuals, the individuals watching this, okay, we all have these psychic abilities, and in essence they are amplified over time. So I had these and they were amplified, and I was finding alignment, I was doing my shadow work, okay. Then I thought the coast was clear. I've been through the trauma, the extreme depression, the dark night of the soul. I thought it was done, and I thought it was going to be a breeze. This ascension in consciousness, this awakening. Then my Kundalini Awakening activation took place, and I'll discuss how it felt when I went through this stage and what happened in my reality experience. So just as I thought, as everything was coming together and it would be a breeze, as I've done the shadow work and it's all done, it was pretty much the beginning stages when this Kundalini, this powerful life force energy, was activated. When this happened, over the space of about a year, I would say that everything was turned upside down. Once again, my reality experience became, in essence, on many occasions, hell on earth. I was stripped of everything. Something that I loved, something that I desired more than anything in this world, I was stripped of everything. I also faced my own shadow, in essence, with the Kundalini energy, with the activation, with this life force energy moving through and up the body. What happens simultaneously with the activations is that all impurities, all resistance, all density that is out of alignment with love, that is out of alignment with truth of who we are, is brought up into our conscious awareness to be transmuted. So we face our own shadow, and I had to face, down to every last detail, my own shadow. Everything that I thought and I disliked, okay, in relation to my shadow aspect, based on my own trauma, what I've been through, and also this spans across multiple lifetimes, multiple reality experiences. The Kundalini energy, okay, in a lifetime when it is activated, you deal with karma across all lifetimes. You deal with everything that you have done to everyone else across all other lives. Karma balance will come through, and you'll be shown in great detail, and I was shown in great detail as to why I went through traumatic experiences. For one, the victim abuser dynamic, why I went through that, because we change roles in many lifetimes. where we have been the victim in this lifetime, we have been the abuser in another lifetime, or we have been an abuser in this lifetime without being aware of it. And here comes the shadow. So you face your own shadow with the Kundalini Awakening. And it is a dark night of the soul, facing your own shadow. And what you disliked or dislike in other individuals, you are shown with clarity where it is your own stuff. And where I have been the abuser, I, through karma, through facing my own shadow, became the victim. Where I fell into victim consciousness. Okay, and often soulmates will play out these themes within our reality experiences, all in the name of service and expansion, and it's actually a beautiful gift. But it can be very, very scary facing your own shadow. This is when my world began to fall apart. Okay, because I've done the work, and then all of a sudden, these experiences are still cropping up. Okay, and they keep cropping up until we get it. Until I got it, until I owned it, until I loved myself and went through the transmutation with the assistance. This energy itself, the Kundalini, will assist with the transmutation as well. Okay, it is so powerful, it forces everything up to the surface that is within the self, shadow aspects. That is not love, that is not truth. Everything at once. So within a year, this happened to me. And that's a lot. If you think about multiple lifetimes, if you think about, I am 34 years old right now, so a lot has happened in 34 years. Okay, so to deal with all the shadow, all the darkness and density within the physical vessel, within my reality experience, the karma within a year is a lot. So in essence, you will find yourself, when going through a Kundalini Awakening activation, okay, going into solitude after this moment in time. Very soon after this activation, you unplug from the matrix, okay? If not immediately, but very soon, you will unplug. There is no ways that you can continue playing out the everyday 3D reality experience within the matrix, okay? Because when this activation takes place, and I'll go into this very soon, all your psychic senses are amplified, are activated and amplified. What you didn't have in the form of awareness will come online on another level. Your connection with your higher self, your guides, the beings of light is on another level. Your DNA is activated, your chakra energy centers. Also, very important is that with a Kundalini Awakening, that goes hand in hand is the higher heart activation. Okay, this is automatically activated when the Kundalini is activated. So your higher heart is activated. Okay, which also acts as a powerful portal, which brings online the galactic chakra, okay, the soul star chakra and the galactic chakra, which are above the crowns. Okay, and this runs all the way up to the Christ consciousness. And this is what channels are, who channels are. They are channeling the Christ consciousness. They are also channeling through these portals. They are acting as energy center through the higher self aspect, beings of light. So all of this comes online. So the energy will remove all impurities, okay? And what it felt like for me initially was, it feels like the most powerful sexual energy on another level that you have ever felt. You think to yourself, because it's like nothing you've ever felt or been through before, what is happening to me? This is crazy. A powerful, extreme charge of sexual energy that builds up. But during this time, you would have already been aware, or soon afterwards, very soon afterwards, that this is Kundalini energy, that there's sexual energy involved with the Kundalini energy, okay? and you'll understand what's going on. But at first, it's very confusing. It takes over your entire body. It's a life force on its own. Something very important is that you will never be given a Kundalini Awakening activation. It'll never happen to you unless you're ready for it. Okay? Some teachers out there, okay, I respect their teachings, will say that there's a thing called Kundalini syndrome and it's very dangerous if activated in the wrong way. You will not be given the activation if you cannot handle it. The universe will never give you something that you are not ready for. So if you have it, there is a reason for this energy. You will not be given this gift of the Kundalini Awakening, okay, if you are someone who does not act with an integrity. So I'm not talking about making mistakes. We all make mistakes, okay? And there's a process of loving the self and understanding the perfection of all things. I make mistakes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about an individual not acting with an integrity when there is a serious abuse of power, okay? When there is a possibility that an individual will inflict harm on others. When an individual is not of purity in the operation of how they conduct themselves in society. Excuse me. The Kundalini energy is given to you, this activation, in divine timing when you are ready for it. When you are an individual who represents the light, okay, who acts with an integrity, who is love, who has set the conscious intention to better themselves, okay, and is entrusted with the sacred gift. It will not be given to anyone else, okay? If this had to get into the hands of an individual seriously acting out of integrity, seriously coming from a dark place, it would be very dangerous because it's very powerful, also in the form of manifesting what you wish in your reality experience and the impact, the embodiment of this energy has on other individuals. So it's all divinely guided, and you have to be within a vibrational frequency, a certain level of consciousness to receive this activation. If this happened in my reality experience 10 years ago when I was acting out of alignment, okay, my physical form, first of all, wouldn't have been able to handle it, okay, and on a psychological level, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. It is very psychological. When this energy is activated, okay, like I said earlier, all your psychic abilities come online and are amplified to another level. Clairvoyance, your third eye is wide open. So you see through into other dimensions, you see other beings of light, okay? You also can see the truth in what is happening within your reality experience when interacting with other individuals. Your dream state opens up. I had years ago the most extremely vivid dreams, okay, where I was shown not once, not 10 times, more than 100, 200 times. I was shown in dream state how all realities exist without a shadow of doubt, simultaneously how the future already exists. Where in my dream state, future scenarios would play out down to the T, and all the way up now, okay, 2 years later, what happened in the dream 2 years ago has played out in my reality experience. Down to the exact words that were spoken in the dream, the exact co-creation with the individuals within the dream 2 years ago played out in my reality experience. Not once, not 10 times, over 100 times. So with the Kundalini Awakening activation, dream state opens up to another level, and there is healing done in dream state. Dreams are real, the interactions are real. There is an energy clearing, okay, there are transmutation, there's that dynamic of transmutation and healing that takes place in dream state, so it doesn't have to take place within this reality experience, okay, so a lot of the work gets done in dream state on an energy level, okay. So you get divine information coming through to you when your psychic centers come online. Dream state's one of the ways, okay. Third eye is activated. It's your clairvoyance. You become a clairvoyant. And why I'm saying psychologically, because with this powerful energy, it can take a big toll. When you have a day-to-day job, you're operating in a 3D reality experience, okay, and you can't really talk to anyone about it because no one understands what you're going through. And you're also seeing through the deception, through the lies, you see through any distortions, okay, when other individuals within the same reality experience may not be seeing this. So you almost as if you are in a completely different reality experience within that reality experience. So it can be very, very lonely at first. And it's very psychological, okay, because now you're dealing with your own shadow, all right, and you're getting explained what belongs to you, what doesn't belong to you, because the shadow is also a heavy program, right? There are heavy programs that we have bought into, that we have been running since we were children, that we believed belonged to us. So we believed in lies and deception. We had beliefs about ourselves that were not true. This is also the shadow. Heavy programming is released when this energy bursts through, is awakened. The programming, the shadow, the blockages within your physical vessel, so any blockages or density that has resided within the chakra energy centers is released. And while it is released, it plays out in the reality experience. Okay, so you have to interact with it. And that's the journey of mastering the self. Is it showing up in your reality experience and being able to not have an emotional reaction to it. The emotional reaction is the food to that program. Okay, is the food to the shadow, is the food to that experience manifesting as repeated cycles. So mastering the emotions, your thought processes psychologically. Clear cognizance, you will step into a space, many individuals will go through this with Kundalini Awakening, is clear cognizance, okay, is knowing. You just know things to be true. You will know things without any information whatsoever. You won't need to look or have any proof. You just know. It's knowing. It's channeled information that comes through to you, okay, telepathically, through feeling, all right, knowing. Clear cognizance, clairvoyance, clairsentience, okay, all the clear senses. I'm not going to go into all of them. The individuals watching this will understand this fully. All your clear senses, your psychic abilities come online, okay? So the energy, how it feels, okay? How it feels is when the energy, now today, I'll discuss what it feels like. The Kundalini energy is turned on and off, or rather up and down. So it isn't always at its full capacity in terms of intensity within the physical vessel. So sometimes you won't really feel it, but every day mine is turned on, okay, and I'll feel it rushing through my body, and it is the most unbelievable feeling on earth. There is nothing like it. It's almost as if, okay, back in the day when I was misbehaving, when I abused substances, okay, you're on a whole nother level of high. You feel like you are high. It can feel like if you have ever gone through the experience of psilocybin mushrooms, okay, or any psychedelics, when you tap into that new frequency, it's similar to that. But the feeling is beautiful. It's this amazing energy. And what happens, like I said, with the higher heart activation with this Kundalini energy is your heart, in these moments when the Kundalini energy is flowing, it feels about this big. Your heart feels huge. And the best way to describe the entire feeling is that there is a glowing light within your body. It's like a bright light, glowing energy, beautiful feeling, sensation of just light in your body. When I went through my first ever activation, okay, when I spoke about on my website, when I tapped into 5D consciousness for the first time, in that moment when all depression, all anxiety, all worries and concerns dissipate in a second, and you tap into the Christ consciousness. You feel like a being of light, and all of a sudden there's just understanding in this moment. Okay, and you understand the illusion for what is, the shadow, the collective unconscious, and all of that fades away in a second, and you're in pure bliss. You're in a euphoric state. So this energy feels like a glowing, beautiful, light energy within your entire physical vessel, focused on the heart space, very much so. So it's emanating. The heart, through the process of this energetic flow, acts as a regenerator in terms of the intake of the energy and the outtake. Okay, so like the heart with the blood running through the human body, okay, in biology, okay, so it travels in, and then the heart acts as a pump. So it's the engine room, the regenerator. So it acts as an amplification device for this energy, and it is extremely special. So that's the best way I can describe what it feels like. Another way, which is a lovely term, okay, is it's almost like a soulgasm. So not sexual energy, but it's like you having an orgasm on a soul level. That is 5D consciousness. That is pure bliss, euphoria, complete ease and bliss with everything that is going on, and an innate knowing of the perfection of all things in that moment. That is what it feels like. So what triggers it? Okay, it happens at random times when this energy moving through my physical vessel with what I just described happens. Sometimes it's mild of what I've just described. Sometimes it's amplified. It really does depend. Through meditation, like I said before, when you've already had this awakening activated, this energy activated, okay, you can bring it online. You can call it forth. And when your third eye is open, you'll actually see, and it's been shown to me very clearly, the Kundalini energy looks a lot like plasma, okay? And it's shown to me as a purple violety color. That's the color that Kundalini energy has been shown to me. And you'll actually see it come in to the base of your spine and make its way up like this, okay? That's the Kundalini energy through the heart, and it's emanated. Beautiful energy through meditation. Sometimes it comes out of absolutely nowhere. And this is often when the beings of light, when there is energetic presence around us. So when my guides come in, when beings of light make their presence known, that interaction in itself activates the Kundalini, amplifies it, and I feel it within my physical form. And this is often when I'm about to do a message. This is what happens to me, is my Kundalini comes online. I feel it through my body, and there's just a knowing, okay, sit. I'll do a 5-minute, 10-minute meditation, and then I'll share a message, not knowing what I'm going to say until I'm in the meditation, and it just flows. So the presence, okay, of the beings of light, this kicks this energy off, and it is truly, truly amazing. Also, I'd like to touch on what is happening with the world right now at the moment, okay, the Great Awakening. So Gaia, the earth, also has Kundalini energy, and there's a direct correlation, okay? I'm not saying exactly the same, but a very close connection. There is a correlation with what happens with the human form, the physical vessel, while awakening, and what happens with Gaia. As we are awakening and ascending with Gaia simultaneously. The earth, Gaia, also has Kundalini energy, and has also, which is beautiful, been through its own Kundalini awakening activation. So if you think about everything that I've just described about my reality experience, the Kundalini energy, the dark night of the soul, the chaos, the disruption, the impurities, the shadow, and now look at the world of what's happening. So Gaia, with the assistance of the sun, which I've spoken about in previous videos, if you want to go check out the one I did on the Schumann resonances, whiteouts and blackouts explained, I discussed the sun's role with the light emissions, the light codes, and the activations that take place, and why we see the amplitude spikes, okay, and the increase in frequencies, the decline in frequencies, the increase in amplitude. So this is also connected if you want to go and check that video out. So with the assistance of the sun, okay, Gaia's Kundalini energy has been activated, okay, and this is one of the reasons why we are seeing chaos in the world. The collective unconscious. The blockages, the Gaia, also like the human vessel, has blockages in it. Okay, from all the trauma, all the wars that are being fought, all the darkness since the beginning of time has been stored as energy within the Earth's memory banks, which acts as blockages. And now the Kundalini that has been activated for Gaia is releasing this. So the density makes its way to the surface. And we as empaths are tapping into this energy. So that's why we can feel the extreme density is, why am I feeling like this? Wow, and the horrible thoughts that come through, those insidious thoughts, and the feeling of absolute pain. Okay, this is the Earth's density being released for transmutation, which is beautiful. When this happens, as everything is a direct link and begins with an energy, we see it play out in the reality experience. So we see the chaos, we see everything that was not an awareness, from an awakened mind now, with awareness being brought into our conscious awareness, so it's being seen. A light is being shone on the collective unconscious shadow, and density is being released for Gaia and for us simultaneously. So everything connected to the density that's being released, okay, will be exposed. So where there has been an abuse, and we're seeing this play out right now, okay, on the news, and it's huge. This is very big for humanity, what's happening right now, and it's very obvious. I'll state it. It's to do with child sex trafficking. Okay, this is connected to an energy in the earth. So now we're seeing these individuals being exposed, a light is being shone on this, and all the individuals moving forward connected, being exposed. Because this energy is being released, and we're seeing it play out as chaos, which is really, really sad what we're seeing, but it's important for individuals to see what has been playing out for millennia. This has been going on, and it's connected to an energy. And it's beautiful what's happening right now. There are individuals from a place of light in high-powered positions that are here for a divine reason, who are in charge at the moment, okay, who are here. It won't look like it, but things are done and said in a specific way and orchestrated in a particular way in order for the information to reach the intended individuals, okay? And at the same time, certain things are said in a specific way and are done in a specific way so that other individuals who may be operating out of integrity, who are abusing their power, who are not embodying the light, react to that thing, thus exposing the other individuals so that the collective consciousness can see the truth of all things. So there's a lot of positivity in the world right now. I've stated this, and many people have, many teachers. When there's something dark going on, there's something light of equal magnitude at the same time. Okay, so we're seeing the chaos, the disruption. We are seeing Gaia energetically respond as well to the solar emissions, to the Kundalini energy, with the very large earthquakes that are taking place, with the change in weather patterns, volcanic eruptions, volcanic unrest. We are seeing the Schumann resonance graph spike like it's never spiked before this year. We are seeing more blackouts than we've ever seen. The blackouts missing data, which I also explain. All evidence, there's a lot of activity energetically taking place with Gaia energetically responding, okay? All an indication that more than ever before, which is actually common sense, there is more light on the earth plane than there ever has been before, as we are awakening and ascending to a higher vibrational frequency. That's why the darkness is acting out. It's a last desperate attempt, okay? Sure, there'll be lots of things playing out moving forward, but if you think about it, the darkness doesn't want to be seen. The darkness wants to be portrayed as something it's not. The darkness wants to be hidden behind the scenes, which it has. Now it doesn't have a choice. There's too much light. So now everything's coming to the surface. And individuals are being exposed. Okay, so there's a desperate attempt in the form of bad actors to now change the narrative, to now defend the self, to overly defend the self against something, and to also overly attack someone else. The light would never attack someone else, okay? To a great degree. Yes, there will be defense, okay, and there's a reason in the 3D world why things play out the way they did. If you had somebody who represented the ascended master state as one of the world leaders, it wouldn't work out right now, okay? Because there's roles that need to play out, okay, in order to awaken other individuals. If everyone was awake, then yes, someone who represented the light in a master state like a Jesus Christ, okay, could be one of the leaders of the world because people are awake and they see the truth, but people are still waking up. It is a great awakening. So it's all ingeniously designed, and it all has to do with energy. And when also, one of my previous videos, that's the distractions. Notice the distractions. Everything is a distraction from the ascension, from the awakening, from a connection to the self. Everything is actually a distraction. That's why you are winning when you unplug from the matrix. When you don't get involved, when you do your best not to buy into what's happening through, as you all know already, everyone I'm speaking to here knows this, okay? Not to buy into what's happening through the media, the narrative. It's becoming very obvious what is truth and what is lie. What is a lie? Okay, it is very obvious that going back many years, okay, who people thought were the good people aren't the good people, okay, because they're being exposed. The truth is coming out. And perhaps some people who thought were the negative characters are actually the good ones, okay, but there was a reason why it played out the way it did, and there's a lot of positivity to look forward to. Never in the history of humanity has Earth, has the collective, been through this, what we are going through right now. And it is the freedom of individuals from their own prisons, from the illusion of the disconnection to source, to God, free will, freedom of speech, to live their life as the fullest creative expression.